Hello, Vicky. Welcome.
Hello.
And would you like to introduce yourself and what your art form is to
I
our
would,
audience?
yeah. So I'm Vici Wreford-Sinnott. I live in Saltburn, and I'm a theatre and performance writer and director. So that might be in theatre, film, digital work, screen, audio, might be poetry, spoken word. But I also have a kind of a complementary but separate strand of work, which is I create sort of striking visual, non-verbal performance with learning disabled theatre makers.
Wow.
So it revolves around kind of visible performance in one way or another, whether it's with words or not.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, that's yeah. Wow, what a title of things you do.
Well, it's I'm old, you see, so I've dabbled in all sorts of things, and as you move through, you know, your work, you kind of, if you're lucky,
Yeah.
to experiment and do different things. But yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. When and how did you first get involved in all of that?
Well, gosh, I got into the theatre of punk when I was 16, and I loved the costumes, I loved the parading, the dancing, the whole visual element of punk. I designed some clothes and I sold them in a punk shop in Durham when I was 16, and it gave us not exactly a voice at that stage, but I was carving out an identity.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't one of the cool kids at school who sort of did drama and art. And I never had the confidence initially, but when I left school, I was training to work with kids, and we were forced to do drama because they thought it would help us come out of ourselves and build our confidence, and of course it did, and I loved it. So
forced.
I was forced to do it, yeah. And then, oh God, they couldn't get me off the stage. Take the microphone off that woman.
That's lovely.
I moved to London then when I was 18 because I thought the streets were paved with punk. And they were. It was brilliant for a while. But I saw a piece of theatre there that blew my mind. And I thought, I mean, I literally physically ached after seeing it. It was,
wow.
It was phenomenal. And I thought, I want to do that. I don't want to do anything else. That's what I want to do. So I put myself through a drama A level, and then I was really, really lucky. It was a time when grants were available for university places, and yeah, I got a place at university to study it. So I was very, very lucky indeed.
Isn't that lovely though to find something like that at that age?
Yeah.
That moves you so much.
Yeah.
That you know exactly what you want to do. I mean, that's quite beautiful, really, isn't it?
It was a funny little route, but gosh, yeah, had I not gone and seen that piece of theatre, which I only just heard about, I heard about it in underground club, punk club, and they said, go and see this show, it's called Metamorphosis. It was starring Tim Roth, who is now obviously a big Hollywood actor, but he was known then. And it was just incredible. It was amazing, yeah.
And the name Metamorphosis, I mean,
yeah,
that's quite poetic, isn't it? That what happened to you and everything.
Well, yeah, actually, I'd never thought of that before. But yes.
So I was going to ask you how you first got involved, but you've just answered that, haven't you, with that?
I have, I suppose, yeah. I mean, the theatre, punk and clothes were important, but I was secretly a writer as well.
Yeah.
I would never have given myself that title. I would never have said I'm a writer.
Yeah. So when did that come about, that when you said, when you called yourself a writer?
When I called myself a writer, probably not till I was about 25. And then I was embarrassed to call myself a writer. You know, I was like the usual kind of self-doubt, and which has been my constant companion, but it is for many artists.
Oh, it is, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, when I was about 25, I'd graduated from university, I'd set up my first theatre company, I'd come back north, where the streets were paved with home.
Yes.
And I wanted to be in the north, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I set up a theatre company in the East Durham coalfield, and because the miners' wives had been politicised, and you know, I'm going back a while, but yeah, people were interested in our voices and what we had to say.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. Well, that's sometimes our only platform, isn't it?
Absolutely.
A piece of art, a piece of creative artwork.
Exactly.
Is the only way we can be heard.
That's right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I firmly believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what inspired you to get involved? Was it that piece of theatre really that you saw?
Well, there was something else happened when I was still at school, when I was 15. And ironically, I was in what I thought was the most boring lesson on the planet, economics. Don't know why I took it. But I learned in that class not to accept the world as it's presented to us.
Really?
And I'd realised that up until that point, my whole education had sort of been just to accept everything as facts, history, facts, English facts, you know. And there was something about this teacher in this lesson, and they really turned it all on its head. And I thought, God, it's all right to ask questions and have a voice and have an opinion.
Yeah.
And so I think that the quest for a voice that I didn't hear in other ways was, I think, became quite important to us when I was, you know, in that teenage, which is probably why I went towards punk.
Yeah. Well, it was a great movement, wasn't it?
It was.
Great look as well.
Yeah.
He's still rocking it now, like. So, who are your major influences and / inspirations?
Well, all creative women ever, who want, you know, who have something to say and find a way to say it. I love hidden women in history. I love discovering them and hearing their stories that we don't always hear. And then in terms of theatre, there are brilliant women like Carol Churchill, April De Angelis, who've made incredible pieces of work that change the way we think, that change the way we like present women. And also a prolific disabled playwright called Kate O'Reilly, who's probably, you know, one of the most successful disabled full stop in the world. So yeah, I look to other women usually, and
that's a perfect answer. Because women rule the world, or the world they should, and if it did, it'd be...
Definitely. Well, look at the ones who do, the women who rule countries, you know, who
rocking it.
Countries, absolutely.
And isn't it wonderful that we've got a woman of colour as vice president? Well, we haven't, but
yeah, she feels like all of ours, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Influential. Yeah, definitely.
That's the only ray of light I can actually see in this year, to be honest. But anyway, so you went to uni and studied drama. Yeah.
I did.
What about your writing? Have you done any formal education with your writing? Is it just developed over the years?
I was very lucky with my degree and I chose it very carefully because it was a combined acting, writing and directing course.
And it was amazing.
It was 4 years. And it was the time of luxury when we had grants, is what I mean by luxury. I certainly didn't live in luxury, but you know, I feel for students these days. But yes, so I was lucky enough to do all of that within my degree. And then really the writing has more been through doing it, through experimenting, because I don't write in a very traditional way. I tend not to follow rules, and you know, that can be difficult if you don't write in certain formats. In terms of bigger sort of career opportunities.
I understand that. Punk writer then as well, eh?
Yeah.
I love that you're still that. You know what I mean, that you've still kept that punk spirit from.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's just fantastic. I love it. So I was going to ask you, working alone and collaborating, but I know you do a lot of collaborations. Does your work encompass more working alone or more collaborations? Which do you think you do most of?
Oh, that's a good question. Ultimately, collaboration would take up more of my time, and it's where my passion lies.
Yeah.
The work that I do alone is the writing work.
Yeah.
But in a way that's always influenced by other people. I involve other people in aspects of creating work. So it's really important to us that it's not just one voice.
Yeah.
That's quite it's quite a male thing to, we call them auteurs in theatre, where a man has some women do it, I suppose, but traditionally a man would have a concept and would follow the whole thing through without, thinking about anybody else or consulting anybody else. I'm being very divisive here.
Oh, I love that. I love it. We've got to call them out, haven't we?
Yeah. And absolutely. And I think collaboration, lots of angsty individual work, wrestling with words, but
I think that sometimes the angst gets you to the point where you're happy with it, doesn't it?
It does. It's part of the process.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. Where do you normally, when you've got a new idea for some work, where do you normally practice that? Like write? Have you got a special writing space? Have you got a special place? Are you really organised? Are you disorganised like me?
I'm quite.
How would you do it?
Yeah, I go through phases. The process goes through phases. A bit disorganised to begin with.
Yeah.
And I'll have big sheets of paper all over my walls and with maps and
Oh, I love that.
Brainstorms and what have you. And then I have to find a way to narrow it down. And but I have been known, I don't know if I dare say this, but I have been
known. Come on, there's only like
only us and 5. Well, I was really struggling once with the play, and I was working to a deadline. It wasn't finished. The actors were due, and I went and checked into the Scotch Corner hotel for 3 days. You know that big hotel on the corner?
Oh yeah, I do.
Roundabout at Scotch.
Oh really? Yeah. Passing so many destinations.
Very exotic, let me tell you. But honestly, it was the best thing I ever did because it meant I could just focus. So I probably don't have a special writing place.
Right.
But I get to a point in me writing where I kind of need real isolation, quiet.
Yeah. So you ran away to write.
I did. I ran away. I had to get away from everything and everyone to finish that piece of work. But anyway, that was slightly dramatic, that.
No, I think that's fantastic. I can just imagine, like packing off and like right off. That's I suppose that kind of just shows you it's really easy to get distracted, isn't it?
Totally. Or life is very consuming, yeah.
Especially if you kind of unconsciously or want to be distracted because well, so that's wonderful, that.
Yeah. Well, we're all procrastinators, aren't we? I definitely am.
Yeah.
But then I also do think that for women with lots of different roles, it can be really hard sometimes to, just get that time, concentrated time to write and focus.
I think you're right, and I think maybe it's also older women as well, because you feel that sense of guilt that you shouldn't be doing this.
Totally.
Or I should be cooking the tea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God.
Totally.
Yeah. Why do you think, Vicky, that the creative arts are important to you personally and wider generally?
Well, we all need beauty. First of all, for me, even though I write very political, gritty work, it's got to be beautiful. It's got to be powerful. And we all need that, you know, and I think the arts are everywhere. The arts are in our singing as we potter around the house. They're on the radio, they're on advertising, billboards in the town or whatever. It's in us, you know, it's how we communicate who we are as a society and how we communicate our news to each other. We send cards, you know, we send pieces of art to each other, and we watch telly all day long, cinema, we read.
Yeah.
I think people sometimes underestimate the role of the arts in our lives, and even kids, you know, who are on games and everything.
Well, yeah, someone's made that.
Highly artistic pieces of work. Artists have made them, you know, so I think the arts are everywhere. They make us feel good. They're a vehicle for sharing who we are, but for also like asking the big questions about humanity. And that seems really important in our times, in the times we live in. The arts are there, to share, to feel connected with each other, which I do a lot in my, you know, in whether it's with other women or whether it's with disabled people.
Yeah.
It's a way of connecting, and it's a way of challenging the world, asking provocative questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where would we be without it doing this, eh?
Well, absolutely. Yeah.
And and lockdown, how has it been? Lockdown one. Well, you've just said you haven't been out except to go to the dentist.
One trip out to see other humans. I did have a trip where I went to see the sheep on the North Yorkshire Moors as well. I needed to see animals, so.
And how were they?
They were fine. They were there on the roadside, risking their lives as they always do. Bless them.
So, have you found you've been more creative during lockdown?
I have. It's been very weird, and I know lockdown's been very hard and appalling for lots of people, you know, and I've had moments of that. I am terrified of getting this virus.
Yeah.
I won't survive it. But at the same, I don't know if it's maybe that I think, oh my God, I've got nothing left to lose. Get on with it, get my voice out there. It has been, in a sense, liberating. And I'm lucky to be able to access the internet. I've created loads of work. I've directed several pieces of work through Zoom, you know, and made several films. Short. Do you want
to reel off what they are?
Yes, Siege, which Home Manchester and ARC commissioned. Funny Peculiar, which Northern Stage and ARC and the Arts Council commissioned, which has Liz Carr in it, Mandy, Colleran and Webster. We've had a phenomenal response to that. And what else? I've done lots of work with Full Circle Theatre Company, who are learning disabled company, and we're creating a big outdoor piece for surf.
Are you?
Which we would have shown a work in progress this year had the pandemic not happened, and then shown the full show next year. So we're on plan to do the full show for next summer. Fingers crossed we're out of this pandemic.
Yeah, I hope so.
But that's fascinating, making that through Zoom. None of the group had been on a computer before lockdown. And now we're devising a big piece of outdoor theatre.
That's crazy. I mean, just that in itself is pretty amazing, isn't it?
It really is. And it's because we have had to be resourceful.
Well, yeah,
you know, and really important, especially with learning disabled people, to keep connected, not to disappear under the radar, and just making sure we keep our heads sort of above the surface, and asking other people to do the same, you know. And so that's why the digital world's become quite important. And it's not the answer to everything.
No.
And as we go forward, I'm hoping that we can get a sort of a marriage between live work and digital.
Yeah, like a balance so it's fully inclusive for everybody.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that's a really great idea.
And and so also for me, it's been important that women and disabled people just have created our own broadcast platforms. We've just done DIY stuff.
Yeah.
And reached hundreds of people we would never have reached before, you know. So
yeah, that's really fantastic. You've been
it's
busy.
an interesting time, but lucky to be busy, yeah. But just feel like there's a few challenges that we need to sort of rise to. And from my point of view, you know,
do you mean post lockdown or right now?
Right now, disabled women, you know, we are more susceptible than anybody else for various complicated reasons, not because we're vulnerable. But statistically, we're 11.9 times more likely to die of COVID. And we don't want to go quietly. Yeah, we don't want to go quietly. So for me, there's a real challenge in keeping that visibility.
Yeah.
Us visible and profiled. And, you know, so we're asking all partners we can to make sure they're commissioning disabled women and keeping us out there.
Keep yourself visible while remaining safe. Yes.
Absolutely. We've lost too many people.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Oh, what a crazy world. Thank you so much. You've provided a little bit of sanity.
Thank you.
So that's just so nice.
Well, thank you so much for just even being interested in the work that I'm doing. It means and I'm delighted to share it with you.
You're an absolute farce, you know what I mean? I think we're very, very lucky to have you in this area. Very lucky.
And likewise, you're amazing. You're a powerhouse. Incredibly talented woman.
Thank you. Ditto. Oh, it's a little bit of a love fest, isn't it? It was so nice. Do you know what? I cannot wait. The people that have been interviewed, I just can't wait to see you all again.
I know. Oh God, it's painful. Yeah.
Isn't it going to be a wonderful thing?
It is. Yeah. I hope it's not too far away now either.
Hope so too. So I think we've all done really well.
Yeah.
Right now, but I'm not sure. Yeah. So you've been a little ray of sunshine. So thank you.
Thank you so
much. Very much indeed. And I hope the rest of lockdown is kind to you, and keep up the good work because it's amazing.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Amplifying. So thank you.
Thank you. Lots of love.
And see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah. Bye now. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.